All right, guys. Welcome back. New week. We are in week. What week are we in? Man, y'all can see that I'm really prepped for this really quick. I love doing things off the cuff, though, right? We are in. Was it week 7? Sounds great. Week 7. Yes, week 7. Financial literacy. This is a pretty big deal this week. I do want to cover a few things before I get into that. I do want to cover some questions that we do have from our discussion board, your weekly attendance. If you aren't doing that, you might want to get on that. Just trying to tell you. So I'm going to go ahead and look at these. I love looking at these just for the first time whenever I respond to y'all. No questions at this time. Come on, nothing? You're right, because this class is terribly easy. When should we really focus on the essay that you sent us a couple weeks ago? Okay, so that's a good question. So your path to success essay, I'm only looking for a page. I'm looking for you to be able to break down what could potentially stop you from being successful. And as soon as you can jot that down in a couple paragraphs, knock it down a page, maybe a page and a half, go ahead and get it turned in. It's something that if we don't break ourselves down, we don't have the ability to grow. And so the path to success paper is something that I want you to look at it as an opportunity for you to be open and honest with yourself and say, you know what, this is going to hinder me from being successful, or whatever it may be. This is going to hurt me. And this is how I need to approach it. Because if we're not prepared and all of a sudden barriers come up, we quit. Okay? 9 times out of 10, we're going to quit if that occurs. But if we identify the barriers and then they come up, you're like, I got this. This is cool. It's going to be inconvenient. But I tell you what, I'm going to give the next 4.5 years of my life to forever change my life. Okay? With whatever I'm pursuing, whatever degree I'm pursuing. So, start it as soon as you can, just so you're not rushing at the end of the semester. No questions at the time. I answered all of them. Oh my God, that's amazing. I answered all of them. That's cool. I like this. Questions. Oh, this is a long question. All right, hang in there. All right. What would you say to someone, not me, just general question, that's cool, that may be overly stressed or suffers from anxiety and has all of the above to balance and no time to seek counseling services? What is the alternative that a person could take advantage of to incorporate and have time for that would help for what would help cope with that ailment? For those that how could you cope with that? Okay, cool. What tools are available? Balancing these things and be a task in itself and can get very stressful until you find your groove. All right, I'm going to answer that one first, right? So life happens, but as we talked about last week, time is elastic. Time has the ability to move, right? It's how we approach time. And so I'm going to be honest with you. I struggled with anxiety, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. And honestly, I thought on the regular that I was having heart attacks and dying. I mean, if I'm being 100% honest with you, this is my job here in this course is to motivate you and help you grow. And the best way I can do that is from allowing you to know my experiences. So the anxiety aspect, being overwhelmed, not having time to talk to anybody, this is going to be my non-professional, outside of education advice. I would focus on bedtimes and wake up times. Okay? Bedtimes and wake up times, because if I have that structure in my life, I have the ability to then fit everything else in. And what I do in the mornings is I do a lot of reflection. Me personally, I do reflection and prayer, but that's just me. I'm not pushing religion, disclaimer. But what I do is I wake up at 4:45 every morning. And honestly, I go sit on the chair downstairs in the living room and watch old Western movies. Yeah, I'm dating myself probably. But what I allow myself to do is I allow myself to pre-compress for the day. not decompress. That comes at the end, right? You're like, oh, finally, we're done. I can decompress. No, pre-compress, because then you set yourself up for success the entire day. What could come up that day? What could you possibly face that day? And how are you going to deal with it? And that's the best way, without being able to talk to somebody, without being able to find time to really address these issues. If you have the ability to pre-compress, you will have the ability to better avoid being overwhelmed, being ridden with anxiety. And so start it off small. Utilize 2 minutes of your morning and say, this is what I may face today, and this is what I need to realize I may face, and I need to be able to control that. And so get that mindset going. Then increase it to 5 minutes, increase it to 10 minutes, and really start writing down thoughts, start writing down ideas, and journal how you're approaching every single day. What do you plan to accomplish? Then what did you accomplish the day before? So you're not decompressing from anything because it's a new day. You're pre-compressing everything to be successful. And again, I would say ultimately plan your bedtimes and plan your wake up times the best that you possibly can, so that you can control more so. What do you do to change your habit if you become unmotivated and procrastination kicks in? What would your suggestion be on how to get out of that funk? Here's the deal, straight up. Everybody gets into them. I get into them weekly, right? I'll go on a huge kick where every day after school, from day job, I go to the gym and I pump, right? And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling amazing. But then the next week, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm drinking a couple beers every day, just relaxing, and I'm not focused on my other jobs, real estate, my small business, my seasonings and rubs company, neglecting Lone Star, neglecting Cyfair. And so I get in those funks, and what I have to do is I literally have to sit back, and this is the most powerful thing in the world. It's right here. Everybody has one. It's right between your ears, eyes, whatever it is. It's all here. It's your brain. Once you learn to control your thoughts and learn to control how you approach your day to day, you're gonna go into funks. But you have to reflect to grow. And I'm gonna tell you what. Everybody's like, well, Monday I'll start new. Make every day your Monday. And you know what? If you had a bad day, you didn't do nothing. You sat on the couch and watched Maury Povich or Steve Wilkos show. I don't know. You sat back and did nothing all day. Take a step back and look and say, what can I change tomorrow? Don't wait and make every day your new Monday. And it's easier to overcome those types of things. Little longer than usual. I read that. I feel you. All right. Let's see. A few more here. How would you say I learned to properly manage my time? I'm going to just go back, and this is going to be very, very simple. It's literally planning my bedtime within 30 minutes, 40 minutes. It's not like it's 9:30. I better go to bed. But it's within reason. And then planning my wake up time is huge to me, even on the weekends. And I'm going to tell you, the majority of Fortune 500 company CEOs wake up before the 5 o'clock hour every morning, because that's whenever the human being, studies have shown time and time again, the most wealthiest people in the world. That doesn't mean they're happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm just putting that out there. But the most wealthiest people in the world wake up before the 5 a.m. hour. And that's where the structure of the day happens. And that's where you have a less opportunity for procrastination, more opportunity to manage time, because then you're up before the world and you can plan to attack as opposed to having to rush to a defense. Okay? All right. How long did it take you to learn time management? I think it's always a work in progress, because I like to procrastinate. Y'all can probably see that in y'all's grades going in. I like to procrastinate, and again, I go up and down a lot, and I wish I had the motivation that I have on my high points every single day, but it's human nature to not. What you can't do is you can't get yourself down about not being successful in a day. And if you do, you start a negative downturn, and then I'm going to be honest with you, you're screwed, because then you start quitting on stuff, and once you start quitting on stuff, you failed yourself, and once you fail yourself, that's it, right? So really having the practice of, I learned early on here, I guess this is going to be the best way I can answer this. I learned early on from my father, who again, I'm going to tell you, wake up time is so vastly important to success. He was always an early riser. And I learned that from him, and I find out that if you're up before the day, you can attack the day as opposed to the day attacking you. Okay, a few more here, a few more. Would I need to prioritize my time more on school or jobs? That's a balance. It depends on what you need, and we're actually talking about financial literacy this week. It depends on what you need. I focus on 4 different jobs every single day. And so in a family of a 10-year-old, a 19-month-old, and a baby due December 28th. So it's a true balance of time. And I rely on my wife. I rely on my friends. One thing about that, surround yourself with people that are like-minded, and they will support you, and they will help you, and especially if you have somebody, and you may not, and this is kind of tough for me to say because some people don't have that support. In fact, one of your biggest barriers to success are those that are most close to you. I would say, if this was me, would I need to prioritize my time more on school or jobs? I personally would say your education, because it's going to take you to the next level. And if you have the ability to go to the next level in a very short amount of time, a glimpse of your life, like literally this much out of this much, if you have the ability to do that and you focus it on a very high level, the outcome is going to be more beneficial than if you're looking at menial is not the right word. I take that back. That's very not politically correct. If you're looking at jobs that are sustaining you right now, that's cool, but they're going to continue to sustain you, right? If you're focused, if you can balance that sustaining of job and then the increase of education, then you're going to go up. Hopefully that makes sense. And